Everybody, welcome back. This is Bookworm. I am booking WWF in 1991. You'll actually get to see the B show today. All American Wrestling, after last week's debacle with me losing the first video. So, yeah. I hope everyone's had a good week so far. I hope everyone's enjoying our comeback and watched our video that we put up last week playing Rogue Legacy. We'll have more of that coming up. Hopefully the audio will be fixed using Gummy's microphone next time. Yeah, we got a couple board games just coming up here. I know we'll have a video for Bang, Dungeon Roll, and Pandemic coming up, so that's going to be good. Since this is the B show, you really, for those of you that haven't played before, what's great about the B show, is that the rating for the show does not affect your company. It's designed with the idea that people watch this knowing that it's your undercard guys. They're not the biggest names, so they don't really care as much. What I like to do, this is me personally, is what I'll do is for my main event, what I'll do is I'll have an angle. Usually the second segment of the show will be the angle that sets up the main event for the evening for the B show, because that way these guys get some mic skills hopefully out of this, and then yeah, it's always a good thing to have, a way to build things up. And then also in my last playthrough I never got to play the B show because I didn't get one until like right near the end, and so really kind of cut me down a little bit there. And now you guys are getting to see some of the new guys that are coming in here. We do not want Eddie. So this is the problem, though. Sometimes you get a big imbalance of faces and heels here. But there we go. These guys know each other pretty well. For those of you who don't know, Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr were a tag team. Those of you who don't know who Art Barr was, he if you remember the Juicer from early WCW, he was that guy. But also he was the son of Sandy Barr, who was a well-respected referee in the Portland area. Him and his brother, whose name escapes me at the moment, grew up and wrestled there. And then Art went down to Mexico and teamed up with Eddie Guerrero. And yeah, went from there. And if you don't know who Eddie Guerrero is, man, you're either really young or you just discovered wrestling today. So I will not go into the history of Eddie Guerrero because you should know who that is. If you don't and you want to know, then be sure to keep an eye out for a new series that is coming soon, hopefully from us, which is a fleshed out Wrestling 101. It'll be kind of hopefully be interesting for you guys as I regale you with some history of wrestling so that you guys can all, figure out where this beautiful sport that we love came from, and where hopefully we'll find out through that where it should be going and what people should be doing to get it that way. So, and Mountie versus Texas Tornado will be our main event for the B show. And like I said, the B show ratings don't matter. I believe they will affect the momentum of people if there's like bad bomb ratings or whatever, but as far as the company goes, you could actually just throw whatever you want out there and no one's going to care because they don't expect it to be good. But then you get great things like this where you get a 73. That's always good to see. Hopefully, of course, he was out there by himself, so it didn't really affect him much. But, based on the fact I'm playing WWF and these guys' overness being very low, I'm not surprised to see the 58 there. Eddie did pick up some performance skills, and we'll click over here real quick to see. Eddie got pretty much all of those, that inconsistency and a motivation chemistry that we don't know what that would be. Nice, decent there. Tito probably picked that up a lot as he was popular, but it was a good debut there for Austin. And then we got a 70 there for the Mountie versus Texas Tornado. And I keep forgetting, I'm playing with a 60% split on this one, and I keep forgetting that, but again, the final rating doesn't matter here, it's a B show. For those of you that if I forgot to say before, I am playing a Shane McMahon. I thought it'd be kind of interesting to see if I could bring his ideas in and see what I can come up with here as we go forward. As you'll see, I usually start shows with tag team matches. I think it's a good way to open. You get a decent amount of guys on the show for one match, and usually my teams are pretty good. That I'll be able to pull some good ratings out of them. So, those are for those of you who always wondered. Those are like my go-to notes. If I don't think that they can have the psychology to handle it, I'm going to script it, open pretty much every single match I ever do is open, and then work the crowd if it's at the beginning, and slow build if it's over 16 minutes. I've learned not to trust the all out because there's a lot of guys that can't do it, and would just rather not mess with it, you know. So as we started before, the Ultimate Warrior is the champion currently, so we'll have him do a promo against the $1 Million Man. I did want to get away from the whole Slaughter turning angle thing. I personally never liked it, and I don't think it's going to pull me any ratings, so I figured why waste my time with it, you know. If I wasn't going to be able to do it justice. Ricky Steamboat is debuting tonight. Re-debuting. He'll be facing Rick Martel. Battle of the Ricks there. And we'll put that in a 10-minute match with a Steamboat going over. And then we want to do one more angle, and then we'll go ahead and do our main event. I'm probably going to move this to a 2-hour show after the Royal Rumble, just so that I have more time to do things. But we'll see how things go. And then we have our backstage here. We're going to have we already have heels Slaughter, but I'm not going to run with it like they did. That's just how the mod started. But we will have the Undertaker and Savage. We're going to have him beat down Roberts. And then for our main event, which thankfully we can go over a little bit more than 11 minutes there. It's hard to fit this much stuff in. With the 60, I'm used to playing 70 splits, and so it's a lot different. And then this will be perfect. And let's go ahead and throw Slaughter, since he's the only one that has been used. I try to get as many of my main eventers used in a night as possible, and we'll go ahead and throw this on for 15 minutes with these guys going over. And we'll run the show, see how it did. Like I said, this video is probably going to be shorter just because I'm playing two 1-hour shows instead of a 1 hour and a 2 hour. But we'll see how it does. And so we had a 78 there for the Power and Glory versus Legion of Doom, which is pretty decent. Ultimate Warrior was able to pull a 90 segment, which is good. You'd always expect some sort of promo goodness out of that. Steamboat had a good debut with his rating and for the match itself, and taught some flying skills to Martel. All right. Decent, not as good, but 6 points below is not bad at all, so this is good. And that'll lead into Roberts and Undertaker are going to probably start doing something together. And Savage was just there because, you know, Savage and Roberts have history. So, and I shouldn't put the slow build because I don't put a 15-minute time limit. That's my fault. Everything else looks good, though. Oh, Slaughter and Perfect are a good tag. I'll remember that for the future. And our final rating was an 83. All right. Not as good as last week's show, where I had that 97 main event, but, you know, can't win them all. I hope you guys all enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next week.